All right, welcome. Welcome to Green Light and Banter, episode 19?
I doubt it.
I don't even know. I didn't look.
This is poor prep work already.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's not that important. We'll actually put it on the title. So, I mean, if you've done as many podcasts as we have,
Old pros.
I mean, it's hard to keep track. So, today is January 10th, 2024.
The year of our Lord.
Yep, and the time is 5:24 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So, welcome today. Today's discussion's a bit fluid. It's something new. We're trying something new today.
Flying off the cuff?
Well, just a fluid topic. You know, it's something we haven't tried.
Let's stay away from fluids.
Oh, yeah, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
So, I think Jamie and I are finally on the other side of whatever illness we had.
I was never sick.
I didn't feel sick for long, but every day I felt I would feel fine and then I would just fade out. So I don't know what's going on there.
I was sick. I was in seven hells.
Yeah, he had tuberculosis.
I didn't have tuberculosis.
Or I think they called it consumption.
Yeah, it was the consumption. Yes.
So he actually didn't have that. I like saying it. So we're going to start out today, something that's piqued my interest more recently in other ways than you might think.
I can't imagine. I have no idea what we're going to discuss. You mentioned something briefly, but I have no idea in what context.
Well, we're going to mention it because I don't know where it's going, and it's kind of weird, and it could be good, it could be bad, it could be exciting.
And this is?
So it's the whole new AI thing.
Oh my God.
So, it's hard to even notice at this point, but if you're on one of the vitriol, poisonous things we call social media, everybody does like a clip on Instagram, and they've got this dude's voice talking.
Yes. The when you speak like this type voice.
What is that?
It's AI.
So what happens when I hear that voice? I stop listening. I turn it off because I've seen some video. Actually, somebody was making YouTube videos with the voice, and it's about new cars. They were announcing a new Porsche, the Spider. No, the Boxster.
Ooh.
So the Boxster is about 28 years now, 1996, I think. But it's all fully electric. So I'm looking at it intrigued. But when I look at the picture they're showing, you know how they have like the European license plate on the front?
Yes.
The letters are gibberish. They're like not letters, which is an indicator to me from looking at AI generated photos.
Mm-hmm.
If you do one of the AI generators, is that what it's called?
I believe so.
So we found one.
I can't get anything to come up.
You can't?
Well, I think my mind is just too.
Oh, it's too challenging.
Well,
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I think AI is not ready to catch up with my brain.
It's because you're asking it to do nonsense.
What else would you use it for?
Well, I mean, I've tried to get it to produce a picture of my vehicles. Now, my vehicles are old, so it has no concept of 20 years ago.
Can I tell you what the first thing I plugged into the generator was?
When you were on your own?
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley
Yeah.
and
Wilford Brimley.
Boba Fett?
No, fist fighting Minnie Pearl.
Oh, yeah, you did. You told me that.
What they did is they put a hat like Minnie Pearl wears with the tags on it on top of Wilford Brimley's head. That was a fantastic picture. But
Really?
I mean, it was very entertaining.
Well, we tried to get it to do Phyllis Diller and Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, they don't want Wilford Brimley beating up anybody. And, I don't have some obsession with Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, well, Jamie, we've already discussed the Wilford Brimley obsession. So
That's true.
We're not going to talk about it.
He was the coach on The Natural.
He was. We've talked about that.
Are we reusing material here? Is that
We're not. So, anyway.
Oh, back to AI. Sorry.
Yeah,
Really got
AI.
reined in.
So really the interest I have in it, other than generating these photos, which I've moved on from that,
Right.
is what's happening to these companies who their stock values that are related to AI. We're looking at the big four. I think there's more, but the big four like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, and Adobe. Those were the big four I was reading about today. So it's prompted me to invest in these companies. And NVIDIA stock is up about 300% year over year.
Okay.
So I got in it late,
Right.
like a few weeks ago. However, it's already exceeded my sale price. And so I stopped my limit order because it's surpassed it. And they're reporting that this stock could be valued, it could go to $600 or $700 a share this year. It's currently like $445,
Right.
but it's up from like $100 from last January. So, and they're attributing this to AI.
Well, how does AI affect stock price? That's where I'm confused.
Well, NVIDIA is a processor chip company.
Right.
They've been that for years. I actually owned NVIDIA stock years ago when all this stuff came about. But now more recently, they're going out on their own. They're not just making the processors, they're doing the whole thing. And they're heavily involved in the programming and processing for AI. I don't even understand
Yeah, I mean,
it at all. It's programmed. Somebody's writing code and it's generating these things, of course. So money is involved. So what's going to happen? It's going to continue.
okay.
So beware. Also, with that being said, I heard about something that happened. So these are things that happen all the time. So another one of my pet peeves is technology within the school, specifically cell phones.
Right.
And I really want to file a lawsuit against our local school district because of their cell phone policy. There should be no cell phones in school.
Oh, and that we agree completely.
And it's because children aren't mature enough to make decisions that don't impact their lives forever.
Right.
That's why they have parents.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be there to learn, not to tweet or.
Well,
do they even tweet anymore? Kids don't really tweet, but
no, they snap, I guess.
which is ridiculous.
I don't even care about that. The problem is they're sharing photos that they shouldn't share,
Yeah.
and that's troublesome. Now, what happened recently in a school district, not here, was that someone shared provocative photos of these young girls, but they were AI. So the bodies were AI generated and the faces were of the actual individuals.
Yeah, that's no good.
So they're like, we don't even know what to do with this case.
There's got to be, but there has to be some disciplinary action there. I mean, it's
Yeah, no cell phones at school.
yeah, no cell phones at school is a great start. I don't know this AI stuff. There's AI generated Instagram models.
Oh yeah, there's one specifically. The guy makes hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And you'll look at, like, there'd be one where it's some girl, and evidently the comment sections, people are praising this person as a rare beauty, and it's like, wait,
They're not
this
real.
is a non-existent person. I mean, this is a cartoon character.
Well, and that's another thing with I feel like Hollywood. I mean, we've seen it in the films recently, whereas they have a film with an actor we know is 80 years old, yet in the film there is a younger version of this person. in the timeline.
Yeah, the de-aging program, is that what you're referring to? Like they did it in the movie, that was a Netflix movie, The Irishman. They did it with old Bobby De Niro.
So they had like his younger person in the movie.
Yeah, for a large part of the movie. And
well, I mean, there is a movie more recently that is, I think the whole thing is that. I can't think of what it is. But, I mean, you don't even need the real actor.
no, well, yeah, I think you still do.
Yeah, no, not now.
Well, I think they have him do the part, but then run it through the program.
Yeah, but couldn't they just have any random
I have no idea what they
actor do the body movements and then superimpose the...
I haven't a clue.
No, I think they can.
This stuff is beyond me.
I think they can.
I don't know, but it feels like every when I was a child, every AI related apocalyptic story that I've ever read starts with this.
See, we were worried about robots.
I'm still worried about robots.
I mean, I think this is even more dangerous.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all dangerous.
Because it's like, Jamie, I need you to come into the office. We have to talk about something. Okay, what's going on? Well, I have film footage of you looting our cardboard stash.
Do we have a
And you're
cardboard
like,
stash?
Yeah, we do. It's typically in your van.
Hey, how dare you, sir? That's a different topic for a different day.
But then you're like, that's not me. That's not me. And I'm like, Jamie, we have not only photographic evidence, we have actual video of you. And it's time stamped.
About what were we doing investing in this?
I'm not saying we're doing it. I'm saying
I know.
I see how that could happen.
Oh, I do too. I see that in like higher levels of government. I mean, think of Watergate, what they could have done with AI.
What?
I don't know now that I said it. Well, they could have.
I mean, I still don't. I still haven't read my Richard Nixon book, so I can't even speak on Watergate. I know it happened, and it was in a building. It was a hotel.
Yeah, the Watergate Hotel.
That's it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I know about Watergate.
Yeah.
And there were.
Well, what I'm saying is that they could superimpose any number of political scandal through AI.
I mean, LBJ was in Forrest Gump movie.
He was most certainly in the
Remember?
Forrest Gump. Yeah, I do remember the Forrest Gump movie.
That was what, 20 some years ago?
It was a ridiculous amount of time ago. Have you ever read the book?
No, there's a movie.
You just made me breathe into the microphone. Yes, but there was a book first. It's ridiculous. The movie is way better than the book. It's one of the rare occasions.
Well, it's because Tom Hanks was in it.
I don't
Now, think if they had casted Vince Vaughn as Forrest Gump.
Well, I wonder if Tom Hanks had arrived on set via Epstein's flight.
Did Epstein's was it able to land everywhere, anywhere?
I'm assuming it could have.
I mean, why didn't Epstein go get him off the island when he was stranded?
I don't want to get into it, but I read a interesting thing about these scandals that are going on in Hollywood. Not necessarily specifically Epstein related, but it has a lot to do with the symbol of Wilson that's on the volleyball.
Really?
Oh, it's bad.
Hey, so what was that movie called?
Castaway.
Castaway. So it was like 3-hour movie and no one said anything. It was like 2 hours before there was a spoken word.
Yeah, would you want to leave that island? I think he had it pretty good. He was eating fine. He was. There was nobody there to bug him.
I don't even remember how he got off of there.
A storm came up a brewing and washed up a porta-john, and he created a sail out of the porta-john, and
because he had tried
everything in the waves.
He couldn't get away from the shore.
The initial waves.
That's right.
Yeah. But anywho, yes. But
this Wilson symbol is associated with
something very bad that we probably shouldn't I'll tell you.
Okay, yeah, we don't have to talk. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Mm.
Yeah. So there you have it.
So what's the solution to all this?
To all of what, the AI issue?
Yeah, we're going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, no, the toothpaste is out of the tube. There's no solution.
But is this a parenting thing?
It all should be a parenting thing.
I think it's a parenting thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, all I can say is Jesus is coming back, and I hope it's soon.
It's got to be soon.
Because
there's some bad stuff.
I feel like I'm ready.
I feel like everybody should be ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff.
I mean, I remember as a kid, my mom talking about things, stuff going on in the world, revelations and all this stuff. And she's like, well, it won't be long. And I'm like, Mom, you've been saying that for like 3 weeks now, which seemed like an eternity. But now she's been saying it for 50 years.
Yeah, but I've heard it all my life. But, I guess time in that sense is sort of irrelevant.
Well, Jesus will come back and he'll be like, I was only gone for like 3 weeks. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Just think if I was gone longer.
Or come back and take a look around and go, you know what? No,
it's going to be real.
Yeah. But,
anyway.
Well,
I feel terrible now.
I know. Why'd you pick AI in all this?
I don't know. I think I was excited because
of your stock.
My stock portfolio has actually done something now. It has done nothing since our last president was in office.
Right.
Well, I take it back. It has done something.
It's bottomed out.
It's gone down and down and down. But, that's a result of some of the investments. But,
yeah.
I mean, I'm on the NVIDIA train right now.
You are.
And I'm gonna ride it like I did Tesla for 2 years.
And that Chinese Tesla?
No, I want off of that train.
You've given that train long enough.
I can't get off now because they've got all my baggage. If I get off, I lose it all. Yeah, if you want to buy a Chinese EV, NIO, it's a good buy right now.
They need to contact you?
Can I sell my stocks to an individual?
I don't know. Is this insider trading?
No, I don't know. No, I think you have to have some inside knowledge of the company, which I wish I had.
Right.
Man.
Was that an impulse buy or?
Actually, I bought it at the wrong time. I actually bought it near its high, and I set my limit order to sell, and it was going up. Well, I took it off.
Right.
And then it went the other way. So I could have sold and made, but now it's been 2 years.
Right. I got you. But anyways, AI, back to that. It's just technology is getting to the point where it's leaving me so far behind. I don't think I'll ever be able to catch up.
Don't you feel like people that were our age when we were kids? I don't know if I told you about, I was probably 13, and it was about the time the Commodore 64 came out.
Oh, yes.
And so
Magic.
I wanted one.
Right.
So it was like $250. And so I was cutting grass, making $5 here and there, and I had a savings goal.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my employer, Miss Gammons, and she was in her 90s. Okay, so this young lady was born, I actually looked it up. I think she was born in the 1880s. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about that.
That's the Gilded Age.
So I can say that I had conversations with someone, like intelligent conversations with someone who was born in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So she was so cool. Like, she was trying to understand what this was about. And she's like, I don't understand. She goes, what will you be able to do with this? And I was like, I have no idea. I don't know. She's like, why would you want to spend your money on something you don't understand? And so I said, listen, lady. Listen. I said, when I get it, I'll bring it over and we'll check it out together. And she was so fascinated with the whole thing. She couldn't understand how any of it worked. Of course, I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah, that's a good story. Yeah.
She was great, man.
It reminds me of how opposite my grandmother was when it came to stuff like that. She was not interested at all. In fact, I remember when we got our first remote control TV at my parents' house, and it was a Zenith. And
where are they now?
I used to love Zenith, but no, my grandma was at the house and she was trying to work the remote control. I mean, this is as simple a technology. This is early remote control, on, off, channel up, channel down, volume up, volume down. Flipping the channels and landed on MTV. And it was on, you remember the old show Headbangers Ball?
Mm-hmm.
So it was playing hard rock. And my grandmother I was just sitting there watching. It was like observing, Jane Goodall observing the apes. She was, not that I was comparing my grandmother to an ape. I want that out there. Wonderful lady. She was sitting there pressing button after button. The channel wouldn't change. And I'm just watching in fascination. And all of a sudden I see her slowly reach up to the heavens, praying to God to solve this.
Take this away.
To solve this heavy metal crisis that was on the TV. And I was like, well, there was a perfect example of the old ways colliding with the newer ways.
Yeah. Cast out the demons.
Oh, she turned to the deity. That's for sure. It was hilarious.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about those folks. Like my grandfather was born in 1903, the year that we gained flight, right?
Right.
Kitty Hawk. So he lived from that period until, the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
All the changes in technology.
Everything they saw.
However, our generation has probably witnessed more rapid technology development.
Absolutely, but not where it should count. Like, you remember the old, I think we had it up when we were car rehab, picture of the space shuttle. And it was showing it when it was first going into space, then it showed it at present day how it hadn't changed at all.
They're still using the same.
And they'd show cell phones when they first started and where they were. And it's like, man, they should have put that technology elsewhere.
Where? AI?
Into exploring the stars.
What about technology into how you can force people to be parents?
I don't follow.
We would have been much better off than developing a cell phone.
Oh yeah. Now I remember when cell phones, Motorola. My uncle, he used to work for Reagan, and when Reagan left office, he got a job as one of the vice presidents of Motorola, and this was right at.
Did Reagan appoint him
to
Motorola?
No, but I'm sure it helped his resume.
Here's your 40 acres.
And I remember he got a job at one of the vice presidents of Motorola up in Chicago, right at the beginning of the cell phones. And I remember my aunt talking to my mother, saying, I can call you when you're sitting on the beach, and I'll be able to get a hold of you when you're on the beach. And she's like, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to the beach.
Yeah, well, my mother proved it out because her first smartphone, she got two or 3 years ago, and up to that point, she had a flip Motorola Razr phone.
Perfect.
Yeah, and she loved it. She wished she had it back because it just made phone calls, didn't do anything else.
Well, you could text.
You could text, but you had to do the, three J's but.
All right, well, we're back. So we're talking about cell phones, and we got kicked off
by
the cell phone.
Yeah. So they must have heard us bashing the cell phone.
I mean, we try to take 45 minutes out of our life.
It doesn't seem like it's too much. You know, normally it should be about 25 to 30, but you ramble on too much.
Well, you know, ironically, the timer had just kicked off that I started.
What does that even mean? You have a timer that kicks off?
Well, it expired. The timer expired.
I just thought you hit a clock. And
Well, it's a timer on my watch.
is that why you were pointing at your watch?
Yes. We went over this at lunch.
We never go over
I was
this.
like, when I do this, I'm pointing at my lunch. My lunch, my
Why would
watch.
you point- No, that's why we never discussed it. You've never once discussed with me pointing at your watch.
I did it today when I said I'm going to set a timer to watch the stock.
Yeah.
And I went, I'm pointing, my timer went off on my
Well, how
watch.
was I supposed to translate that from you watching your stock to this daggum situation we're sitting in now?
It's a timer.
I'm aware of what it does.
Oh, Lord.
Uh,
Well, this is a second recording, so I think we can put it to the other recording. We did it before with Cameron. Remember, we did it like 3 times?
yeah, well, that was a nightmare.
Jeez.
Hey, I sound a lot better right here, don't I?
I've told you to get on the mic.
I'm always on the mic.
Don't get too much on the mic because then you get
Distorted.
reverb and distortion. But I tried to get this set up on my iPad so we would avoid the phone call thing. I failed.
Well, maybe we should do it for my phone because nobody likes me.
Oh, well, it's probably my children calling.
I think your children like you, okay?
I don't know.
Don't bring self-pity in here.
Well,
buddy.
they only call when they want something, like come pick me up. Will you get some food? What are you going to do when I'm dead and gone? Who's going to pick you up then?
My gosh.
Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, that's probably...
I mean, we really didn't even need to come back for this because we were pretty much wrapping it up. But
Well, you really... It's like, you know, when you're reading a book, you really like to tie it up and end it.
yeah,
That's how... When you write a little presentation, you have an opening,
yeah. Can I
a
tell you something?
body, and an ending.
Can I tell you something about books? I have trouble reading the last chapter of books.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't want it to end?
I guess I'm not like TV shows. I can't ever watch the finales. Like to this day, I haven't seen the finale of MASH.
Oh, that was like the most watched TV show.
And I have no idea what happened. And I've seen the entirety of MASH like
Let me
twice.
tell you what happened.
I'm assuming, I think there was a clip where Hawkeye goes back and it was it was a baby thing. Like he was,
Yeah, they're all back in the States and different things.
yeah.
and
I've seen that
these-
clip.
There's these things back and forth. I mean, essentially, they take the tents down and leave.
Yeah, well, there was a show on FX called Sons of Anarchy. And it ran for 9 seasons.
Never watched it.
Well, you never watched it. It's a good show, but I watched every season. I told there's a lady we work with, Kim. I told her about it. She got on it. I may take too much credit. She may have started watching it when I started. Anyways, we were reporting to each other after every new episode. Oh, can you believe this? Oh, what Jax did, blah, blah, blah. Hoop-de-hoo. And it got to the last episode, and I just wouldn't watch it. And Kim was getting frustrated with me. And so she finally ended up telling me what happened. So I had to go watch it. And I thought she was lying to me, but it played out just like she said it. And I remember sitting there just cussing her out.
You're like, never again will I watch another episode ending.
Yeah. 'Cause
So you have, what you're saying is you have trouble ending the
thing.
podcast. Is that why you start a whole new conversation, like talking about, you actually started talking about books, and now we're on TV shows?
Well, it's the same with books. I'll read a book and get to the last chapter. I'm like, I'm good. I can imagine how it ends.
I don't think that's what the author intended.
Well, you know what? More than likely, the author has died.
I think there's books out there where you pick your own ending, so I guess you do that with all of them.
Yeah. I mean, the only ending that's worth reading is the Bible's ending. You pretty much need to read that, but
Yeah, you probably should.
yeah, but
It's not all bad. It's like, this is what you need to do.
yeah, it's a good guide.
Well, okay, Jamie, let's see if we can end this before we get another phone call.
Okay, I'm fine with it. I mean,
Well, thanks for listening to the Rambles.
Yeah, this was our least organized one.
Was it?
I think it was.
Is it?
Could be.
I doubt it.
Why do you doubt that?
It's been,
It's been a talk.
yeah.
I just was ill prepared. You sprung AI and stocks on me right before.
Well, you know, I was driving in this morning. I had a good idea, and I was going to put it in my notes so I could remember
You
it.
forgot it.
Well, something else came up, like someone sent me an email saying there's no one at school, and then I realized school is not open for 3 more hours because they closed for high winds. Which there were high winds last night, but
Well, I mean,
I didn't really see any issues this morning. But
The
you know,
kite-
what do I know?
The kite flying competition's been canceled for high winds. Wait a minute. That's what we need.
Well, I'm not going to get into it. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, we can tie this into what we started before we were interrupted. And
I got every bit of faith in you.
okay, well, good. I'm glad somebody does. So
Well, you can know me.
I do. I really do.
I agree. All righty. Well, let's end it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next side.
Later.